Hello, welcome to a new video. We are going to ignore the fan. It is still ridiculously warm in the UK. I don't know what's happening. I don't like this. I want autumn now, please. But today's video is my anticipated releases for the months of October to December. Also, I apologise for the glare on my glasses because I just noticed that keeps happening. I don't actually have a huge amount, so I have quite a few for October, but then there's only like 2 for November and 2 for December, one of which for each of those months is a sequel, so I can't actually properly talk to you about it. So we're just going to go straight in with October. On October the 3rd, we have Throne of the Fallen by Kerri Maniscalco, and I can't tell you much about this. I'm not going to read the blurb. I haven't even read the blurb myself because this is a standalone, but it is set in the world of Kingdom of the Wicked, and I don't know if the blurb is going to have any spoilers. All I know is that it's going to have Envy in it. I think he's the main character. So I don't really want to know any more than that. I really enjoyed the Kingdom of the Wicked trilogy. I'm really excited to have more in this world. Then also on the 3rd of October, we have Night of the Witch by Sarah Rash and Beth Revis. I'm really excited about this because I am a big fan of Sarah Rash's books. I've read quite a few of them now, and I really enjoy them. So I have my iPad. I'm going to turn the brightness down on this a little bit actually. I have my iPad. I've got the blurb. So, a witch and a hunter. Vengeance is their mission, love is their destiny. Fritzi is a witch, a survivor of a brutal attack on her coven. She's determined to find her only surviving family member and bring the Hexenjägers, zealot witch hunters, to justice for the lives they ended. To do this, she will need to take down their leader, Commandant Dieter Kirch. Otto is a Hexenjäger and a captain, the second in command to Dieter Kirch, but that's just his cover. Years ago, the Hexenjägers burned his innocent mother alive, and since then he has been planning a move against the witch hunters that tore his family apart. And now the time has come for them to pay for what they've done. When Fritzi and Otto are unexpectedly thrown together, neither is sure they can trust the other, despite their common enemy. But all they have is one another, and they both crave revenge. As truths come to light and trust shifts, Fritzi and Otto uncover a far more horrifying plot at the centre of the Hexenjägers' attacks. But their own growing feelings for each other may be the most powerful magic of all. It's like an enemies to lovers, and I'm here for it. I'm very excited. I don't think I've ever read anything by Beth Revis, but I've heard good things, so I'm excited for this little collab. Then we move on to the 10th of October, and the first one for this day is Swordcatcher by Cassandra Clare. As you probably already know, I have already read this and gave it 5 stars. I loved this book, but I'm going to read you the blurb because you don't know what it's about. In the vibrant city-state of Castellane, the richest of nobles and the most debauched of criminals have one thing in common: the constant search for wealth, power, and the next hedonistic thrill. Kell is an orphan, stolen from the life he knew to become the Swordcatcher, the body double of the royal heir, Prince Connor Aurelian. He has been raised alongside the prince, trained in every aspect of combat and statecraft. He and Connor are close as brothers, but Kell knows he has one destiny: to die for Connor. No other future is possible. Lynn Carster is one of the Ashkar, a small community who still possesses magical abilities. By law, they must live behind walls in the city, but Lynn, a physician, ventures out to tend to the sick and dying of Castellane. Despite her skills, she cannot heal her best friend Mariam without access to forbidden knowledge. After a failed assassination attempt brings Lynn and Kell together, they are drawn into the web of the mysterious Ragpicker King, the criminal ruler of Castellane's underworld. He offers them each what they want most, but as they descend into his world of intrigue and shadow, they discover a conspiracy of corruption that reaches from the darkest gutters of Castellane to the highest tower of its palaces. As long-kept secrets begin to unravel, they must ask themselves, is knowledge worth the price of betrayal? Can forbidden love bring down a kingdom? And will Lynn and Kell's discoveries plunge their nation into war and the world into chaos? When I tell you this book had me shook. I wasn't expecting to love it as much as I did, but holy Jesus, I adore this book. And I'm so excited for everyone else to read it. Because this is the only bad thing about getting books before they're released and reading them before then, is that nobody else has read them. And also on the 10th of October, we have Love at 350 Degrees by Lisa Pearce. Food is their love language, but can they follow a recipe for romance? When an unexpected and forbidden attraction starts to simmer between judge and contestant on the set of a TV baking competition, both women must decide what they're willing to risk for the ultimate prize in this debut rom-com. Tori Moore, popular high school chemistry teacher, avid home baker, and soon-to-be empty nester, auditions for the American Bakerama TV competition at the urging of her twin teenagers. If she somehow makes it all the way, the prize money could allow her to finally open her own bakery. But still reeling from her divorce and being naturally risk-averse, it's not just money that's standing between Tori and her dreams. Once on set, Tori catches the eye of Kendra Campbell, the notoriously ruthless celebrity chef and Bakerama judge. Kendra is desperate to save her restaurant and expand her chippy chunk cookie empire, and the show is her ticket to financial security. But she's been told to soften her approach in order to appease viewers seeking feel-good entertainment. After years spent fighting for space in a male-dominated industry, Kendra finds it challenging and surprisingly rewarding to make the shift from harsh critique to encouragement. Tori, drawn to the uncompromising way Kendra moves through the world, senses a tenderness beneath her tough exterior. She and Kendra find it increasingly hard to keep their distance amid 6 weeks of cooking challenges and kitchen disasters. For both of them, the best prize of all might just be love. And then it's got sparks fly in this delightful debut lesbian rom-com set in Sonoma wine country that's as warm and satisfying as a chocolate lava cake. This sounds right up my street. It's got Bake Off vibes and it's sapphic. We have a lesbian couple here. I am so here for this. I'm so incredibly excited. Like, this is one of my most anticipated books. I need it. Next up, we move on to the 12th of October, and we have The Hurricane Wars by Thea Guanzon. I've probably pronounced that wrong. I apologise. The heart is a battlefield. All Taliesin has ever known is the Hurricane Wars. Growing up an orphan in a nation under siege by the ruthless Night Emperor, Taliesin has found her family among the soldiers who fight for freedom. But she's hiding a deadly secret. Light magic courses through her veins, a blazing power believed to have been wiped out years ago that can cut through the Night Empire's shadows. Prince Alaric, the Emperor's only son and heir, has been forged into a weapon by his father. Tasked with obliterating any threats to the Night Emperor's rule with the strength of his armies and mighty shadow magic, Alaric has never been bested. That is until he sees Taliesin burning brightly on the battlefield with the magic that killed his grandfather, turned his father into a monster, and ignited the Hurricane Wars. In a clash of light and dark, their powers merge and create a force the likes of which has never been seen. Taliesin and Alaric both know this war can only end with them, but a greater threat is coming, and the strange new magic they can create together could be the only way to overcome it. Thrust into an uneasy alliance, they will confront the secrets at the heart of the war and find in each other a searing passion, one that could save their world or destroy it. This is the sort of enemies to lovers I want, and I don't know if I'm reading too much into it or if I've heard this. I think this is a Star Wars fanfiction writer originally. I could be wrong on that. If I am, ignore what I'm saying here. But like, reading that blurb, I'm getting Star Wars vibes in a fantasy setting. I'm probably overthinking it, but it sounds amazing and I am so excited. Also on the 12th of October, we have A Christmasaurus Carol by Tom Fletcher. This is the, I want to say, 4th book? Or is it 3rd? I think it's the 4th in the Christmasaurus series. I have loved these books. These books are incredible. And this one, it looks like something brings an old copy of A Christmas Carol to life. And that's all I know about it. And that's all I want to know about it. Next up on the 17th of October, we have All That Consumes Us by Erica Walters. Everyone knows the students in Corbin College's elite academic society, Magni Viri, have it all. Free tuition, inspirational professors, and dream jobs once they graduate. So when Tara is offered a chance to enrol, she takes it. But once she's settled into the gorgeous Victorian dormitory the academy calls home, something strange starts to happen. She finally has the chance to write, but her stories are dark and twisted. When she's not sleepwalking, she's dreaming about being trapped in a coffin, buried alive. And she's starting to feel an unseen presence stalking her through the halls of her dorm. As Tara slowly loses her grip on everything she's ever known, she discovers a terrible secret at the heart of Magni Viri, one that might just turn her dreams into nightmares, one that might destroy her before she has a chance to escape. I've read one book by Erica Waters before, and the atmospheric vibes of that book is what's made me want to read everything by this author. And this blurb, like, I want those gothic atmospheric vibes, and this is perfect because it's coming out in October, which is spooky month. Next up, on the 24th of October, is A Curse for True Love by Stephanie Garber. Now, I cannot tell you anything about this because this is the third book in the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy, which is the sequel series to the Caraval trilogy. So this is essentially book 6. So I can't tell you anything about it, but I am incredibly excited. Stephanie Garber keeps putting on Instagram little quotes and out of context like snippets, and I'm just like, I need it to be the end of October now, please, because I need to read this. And then the final October book is on the 31st of October and is A Fire in the Flesh by Jennifer L. Armentrout. Again, I cannot actually tell you anything about this because it is the third book in the Flesh and Fire series, which is the prequel series to the Blood and Ash series. There's lots of prequel series here and sequel series. So I haven't actually read the second book in this series yet. I've read the first book and absolutely loved it. And I am almost, or I might be up to date on the actual Blood and Ash series. I can't remember. There's so many books and I've read so many of them. But yeah, I'm very excited to continue this. I actually have book 2 ready on my Audible, ready to go. So I will be reading it soon, hopefully before this one comes out, but we shall see. The first book for November is on the 7th, and it's The Hunting Moon by Susan Dennard. And again, I can't tell you anything about this because I've not read the blurb, because this is actually the sequel to the Luminaries, which I really wish I could tell you I've read, but I actually haven't yet. But knowing how much I love Susan Dennard's writing, I have no doubt I'm going to love this, and this is still an anticipated read for me. I will be reading the Luminaries before this one comes out, and I will be getting this one because I'm very excited to read them. I just haven't had a chance yet because there are too many books and too little time. Okay, the other November book is also on the 7th, but I can actually talk to you about this book. So this is Check and Mate by Ali Hazelwood. This is Ali Hazelwood's standalone YA romance. I'm very skeptical about this one because obviously I know I love her adult romance. I don't know what my feelings are going to be on this one, but I am so excited to read it. Mallory Greenleaf is done with chess. Every move counts nowadays after the sport led to the destruction of her family 4 years earlier. Mallory's focuses on her mum, her sisters, and the dead-end job that keeps the lights on. That is, until she begrudgingly agrees to play in one last charity tournament and inadvertently wipes the board with a notorious king killer, Nolan Sawyer, current world champion and reigning bad boy of chess. Nolan's loss to an unknown rookie shocks everyone. What's even more confusing? His desire to cross pawns again. What kind of gambit is Nolan playing? The smart move would be to walk away, resign, game over. But Mallory's victory opens the door to sorely needed cash prizes, and despite everything, she can't help feeling drawn to the enigmatic strategist. As she rockets up the ranks, Mallory struggles to keep her family safely separated from the game that wrecked it in the first place. And as her love for the sport she so desperately wanted to hate begins to rekindle, Mallory quickly realises that the games aren't only on the board, the spotlight is brighter than she imagined, and the competition can be fiercely attractive and intelligent and infuriating. I'm so excited for this. Like, I need this in my life now. Please and thank you. Okay, we have 2 more books left. So, December. So, the first book we have for December is on the 5th, and it is This Spells Love by Kate Robb. Every time I've looked at that name, I've nearly said Katie Robert. It's not Katie Robert, it's Kate Robb. A spell for you to forget your ex, but what else might you lose? Reeling from a recent breakup, a young woman tries to heal heartbreak with a spell, only to wake up in an alternate reality where she's lost more than she wished for, in this witty, whimsical Friends to Lovers debut rom-com. Once lovers, now enemies, soon to be strangers with some memories, this love cleanse will rid you of your woes. When Gemma Wild gets dumped by her long-term boyfriend, she reacts the way any reasonable 28-year-old would, by getting drunk with her sister, kooky aunt and best friend Dax, and performing a love cleansing spell to forget all about her ex. Sure, it sounds a little crazy, but nothing else has worked, so why not try it? They follow the instructions, complete with an absolutely platonic kiss from Dax to seal the deal, and Gemma falls asleep in a margarita haze thinking nothing of it. But when she wakes up, she realises that this silly spell has worked. Not only has she never dated her ex, her life looks completely different, and spoiler alert, the grass is not greener in the alternate reality. The worst part of all, Dax has no idea who she is. To get back to her old life, Gemma must reverse the spell before the next full moon. That means she has 1 month to convince her now near stranger Dax to become friends with her in order to get his kiss. But as Gemma carries out her plans, she finds herself falling for him and begins to wonder whether she even wants to go back to the way things were. I need this. This is like perfect for me. Like, friends to lovers? Yes. Yes, please. And then the final book I'm going to talk to you today about is on the 7th of December, and it is Heartstopper Volume 5 by Alice Oseman. Obviously, I can't say anything about this because it's Volume 5, but this book was originally supposed to come out earlier than this, and it got pushed back, which totally understandable. Alice needed a break, a very well-deserved break. So I'm going to be devouring this the moment I get my copy. I'm very excited. I love this series. If you haven't read Heartstopper, what are you doing with your life? Like, go read it, please. And then watch the TV show, because the TV show is amazing as well. But that is all of my anticipated releases for the end of the year. I feel like there's probably more books that I haven't mentioned, but honestly, I cannot think of any others. I actually keep a note thing, like on my notes app, of upcoming releases, so that if I see one, it instantly goes on that, so that I don't lose any. But honestly, I've not seen any more, and December tends to be a quieter month for releases anyway, so I do think that is everything. But let me know in the comments below if there's any anticipated releases that you have, because you never know, I might add them to my list. But I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you next time. Bye!